Following video has Far Harbor spoilers. Do not watch onwards if you plan on beating Far Harbor yourself. Alright, let's dive into this now.
I want an Enclave and Power Armor DLC. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting here wishing for Enclave DLC. With the Enclave mentioned from Grand Zealot Richter, I hope new DLC has like the Enclave, like a side faction like it was at Fallout New Vegas, or you can make them strong and get a new ending with them. Spoiler alert. They introduced the Enclave with Grand Zealot Richter in Far Harbor. There's a lot of potential there, and I really hope they pursue it further.
Now, I'll admit, I'm a bit nervous to make this video because the last time I talked about the Enclave specifically was when Fallout 4 was first revealed, and I kind of made an ass of myself, if I'm quite honest, but regardless, we have good reason to talk about him this time. So yeah, as the comments mentioned, Grand Zealot Richter does acknowledge the existence of the Enclave in the Far Harbor DLC for Fallout 4, and so I'm going to roll a brief clip from Lone's video. A link to his channel will be in the description, and you guys can check him out there. But anyway, we're going to look at this conversation, just this brief little section in the conversation, and then we will talk about it some more.
You were a soldier? With what army?
They called themselves the Enclave. They were a force to be reckoned with in their day, but now... well, it's been a long time since then. I serve Adam now.
So when we ask what army he's a part of, he says that he was a part of the Enclave, but now he belongs to Adam. Now, the reason we're talking about this and the potential of future DLC is mainly because of the fact that when we look at kind of the Dima situation where he acknowledges that you might actually be a synth, it's up to the player in the end of it all, but I feel like this is Bethesda kind of doing that same type of mind game, but with the Enclave. We all know they exist, but now Bethesda's acknowledging them, saying, yeah, they're still an army, but they're not quite what they once were, which makes complete sense after what we did to them in the Broken Steel DLC. So could they return, and how exactly could they? They absolutely could return, but for me, I personally see them in the light of a New Vegas style Enclave where they're just remnants scattered about the wasteland. That's the best way I see them. I'm not a believer that the Enclave was absolutely overdone, but they did seem to be this common villain that wasn't properly flushed out, where 2 felt like a unique kind of take on them, and then 3 kind of felt like a copy in a sense. So the Enclave does still have a lot of potential left, but I feel like it was a breath of fresh air, not having to really think about them or confront them whatsoever in Fallout 4. It was nice to get a new, unique type of enemy, such as the Institute, with this interesting mystery behind them. Now, how exactly they could return is really in any way possible. We could look at the Nuka World DLC, for example, and say that perhaps they have taken up some type of base inside this amusement park or something, and they are building some type of weapon of mass destruction, something to wipe out mutants, hypothetically speaking, and it's there in their base, and we have to go over there and take them out, or else it'll threaten the Commonwealth or something like that. But it's also worth mentioning that with all this speculation that it could be exactly what I did in that video a little bit less than a year ago now, which is just a bit of over speculation. It could have just been a brief mention and nothing more, and that's kind of what I've been leaning towards, because in the end of the day, he's just mentioning it in one sentence, and I think it was only briefly mentioned in the base game of Fallout 4, where I think Bethesda wants to kind of push different enemies and ideas, which I am totally for. I like the mystery of the fog. I like the mystery of the Institute. I like the mystery behind some of these new enemies, and we've seen the Enclave. They've done their part, and I'm sure they'll be back at some point in time, and I wouldn't be against it if they did show up, but at the end of the day, I'm totally not really going to lose my mind if they are or are not inside this DLC. Nonetheless, I'd love to hear extended thoughts from you guys in the comments down below. There's a lot of you guys talking about it on my video with Lone where we discussed the Nuka World DLC, and now I wanted to make a focused discussion on that specific topic. So I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. As always, be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are in the description. Check out SugarBomb.com, the place by Bethesda fans for Bethesda fans. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.